It is 11 games without defeat for Liverpool following the nightmare November, and a win today will help them avoid any January blues. Their opponents find themselves at the wrong end of the Premier League table, but they found their shooting boots last weekend as they hit 5 goals as they progressed in the FA Cup. It is Liverpool versus Burnley. It's a 3 p.m. kickoff this afternoon. We'll have live audio commentary of the full game here on LFC TV and on All Red Video. You can find all the details on how to subscribe over on the official website if you'd care to join us. Welcome along to Anfield and to Matchday Live. The sun's shining on a frosty January day. Hopefully the entertainment can keep everyone warmed up in this crucial Premier League clash. Crucial at different ends of the table. Liverpool looking for points as they pursue European football. Burnley looking for points as they try and retain their place in England's top flight. Joining me here today at Anfield, two former Reds in the shape of Jason McAteer and Phil Thompson. The thoughts of the guests on the way in a couple of seconds as we adjust to conditions down pitch side. Phil Thompson is with me. Gentlemen, good to see you.
How are you?
I'm all right. 9 games.
Are you wet?
9 games in January for Liverpool. It feels like this is a really important month to decide how much there is to play for the rest of the season, Tomo.
I think we're saying an important month. How long have we been saying that, Mark? And we've been waiting and hoping and at times praying that things would come together. We're on a nice run, but it's unconvincing run. So we've got to try and use these next games is to make it a bit more exciting, to make it a bit more, to find ways. And listen, we can stand here now and say how we are going to sort of break down defences. But it's up to the boss and the players to actually do that, to make it more exciting. I would like to see more balls into the box, just simple things like that. So it is an important month, but it's how we actually go about that, how we attack these games, how we sort of embrace them. And yes, I get it, but I would like it to be far more exciting, more shots, more crosses into the box, to give the fans something to look forward to.
We'll debate that through the course of the show. I think it's a big talking point for supporters at the moment. Jason, speaking of excitement, you had too much excitement a few moments ago. Are you okay? The sprinklers came on, threw us out of our stride as we were getting ready to come on.
Hold on.
Jason, not happy. Are you all right?
Sprinklers?
Well,
or a hose pipe?
I think
mean,
people can see it.
Sounds a bit tame, but we actually got blasted with water from the groundsman who soaked the living daylights out of us, didn't he?
Are you okay though?
I'd like a bit of a warning next time. I did take cover behind Tomo, to be honest.
He's got a bad sense of humour as the guys who are looking after the ground, put it that way.
Just a little heads up, it do.
The surface is slick, we'll take it from today. Jason, because as Tom just said, there's things that people want to see in the games, but the main thing is to keep this undefeated run going, keep ticking along, start building that belief, that momentum, that confidence, which is coming back week by week.
Yeah, we are moving forward, maybe not as quick as some would like, but there is positivity. We're on a really good unbeaten run, was it 11 games now? And I agree with Tomo, within that run, it doesn't seem like we're battering teams, and it's a run where we really look like we're progressing in a quick way and in a way that we want to see. But there are signs that it's getting better. I thought the Arsenal game after the 2 0-0s that we'd already, or the 2 draws that we'd already previously had, felt like defeats, hadn't they? The last-minute Fulham goal and the 0-0 against Leeds. You went in the dressing room and it did feel like it was a defeat and there was nothing to sing about. And then we go to Arsenal and it actually felt like a win. I thought it was a really good performance, albeit no shots on target, but it was a really good performance, away performance against, the team that sits top of the table. But I agree with Tomo. I think I'd like to see a bit more action, a bit more shots, a few more crosses come into the box, something that just gets us on our feet a little bit more.
Always turn the hose pipes on and gets us on our feet. Okay, we'll hear plenty more from Ray. Ray? Why does it say Ray on my script?
I don't know, is it not Ray?
Honestly, it's all gone to pot now. It says Ray. Do you mind being called Ray?
Me or him?
Well,
That's
either of you.
Depends which Ray. Which Ray used the most famous Ray, Kennedy. What a Ray Kennedy, that one, Ray.
Ray Kennedy.
Ray Howe.
Ray Howe.
Any more Rays?
That's who it must be, because Ray works with us, doesn't he?
Yeah, any more Rays? Ray Clements. Who's the best Ray to play for Liverpool?
Well, there's a debate. Anyway, I imagine it's meant to be Ray Houghton, but you know what? The whole thing's ruined now, so maybe just give up and go home. Yeah, plenty more from these two bozos over the course of the next hour or so. Right now, though, let's get the Liverpool team news for today. Hopefully, things can pick up from here. There are 6 changes from Monday's win over Barnsley. The Reds lineup is as follows. It's Alisson Becker, Virgil van Dijk, Ibu Kanati, Milos Kerkez, Florian Wirtz, Dominic Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones, Cody Gakpo, Hugo Ekitike, Jeremy Frimpong and Ryan Gravenberg. On the bench, Mamashvili, Gomez, Endo, McAllister, Chiesa, Robertson, Nayoni, Ramsey and Ngamoa. So my question to you there, Tomo, is who's playing right back? Is it Frimpong? Is it Szoboszlai? Or does it not matter because, well, it could be Jones, because the plan is we will have a lot of the ball, we'll be in their half a lot of the game.
I would like to see it be Jeremy Frimpong playing right back, because we will have lots of the ball. He will give us that width on that side. He will get free at some point, and that is where we're going to have it. Yes, you would say, well, playing right midfield. So whoever plays right back, then we're not sure as though they're going to give us as much support. Does he play inverted? Say if it's Curtis. Dominic Szoboszlai's been our best player, and it's not just because he can play at right back. I honestly believed he did it when we first started the season, and he's gone, yeah, I'll help you out there, boss. But I believe that he didn't look as though he was comfortable. So I would think best player in midfield, it's no good putting him at right back. I think so. You would need him making more of an impact. So I do think it'll be Jeremy Frimpong. He's had a good. It is, but I would like to think we're seeing players come onto form. Jeremy's coming onto form. Kerkez is coming onto form. Wirtz is coming on. So all these players who we've bought, we're starting to see the fruits of it. So we need to give them belief. But Jeremy playing at right back today, I think, is ideal. Maybe a tougher game away from home. You can see Joe Gomez playing at right back and Jeremy playing wide. But then there's the Mo Salah conundrum comes back into it after this weekend.
Let's park that debate till next week.
No, exactly.
I just think it's a real dilemma. But I've listened to Tomo and I understand the arguments. Szoboszlai is such an important component in the middle of the pitch from a pressing point of view, with and without the ball. But then do you move him right back, take him out the middle to leave Jeremy Frimpong, who's arguably looking at his best right now in a more forward position? He's been the biggest threat. He looks more comfortable. He looks happier in that wide right position. Listen, he always looked against Arsenal the get-out ball with the pace he had. It's such a weapon, you know, pace, getting in behind. I know they're going to play a low block, but he's very good in a one-on-one situation, as we've seen against, who was it when he pulls the ball back and Gravenberch comes in and scores? He opened it up. Wolves. You know, so to take him away from that position to play in right back, it's such a dilemma for the manager, and I don't know whether he's just might look at it and think, well, I want to keep Dom there, I want to keep Frimpong up there, I'm going to play Curtis right back. I just don't know.
The argument is, though, today, I guess, that even if he starts at right back, he's going to spend a lot of time further forward. And even though you say there's not a lot of space for him to run into with his pace, when he drops that shoulder and goes, fullbacks still find it difficult to stop him getting across in Frimpong.
Yeah, but it's such a... You're coming from such a different area when you've got a player in front of you. If you're coming from a right back position to attack, you know, you're either going on the outside or, you know, you're backing the winger up. You know, you're not really getting into one-on-one situations, are you? You know, you're only really doing that is if you are wide right and the ball's out quick to you, and you create that situation. But yeah, you don't want him coming from deep.
Jeremy's still fragile because of his injury. He's looking our best player, our best outlet in the last few weeks. To get him playing from right back, and I'm advocating here for him to be the right back, but for him then to be the one on the edge of the box, wanting to go by people and doing it, that is a long stint. Up and down, doing that, putting them under pressure. So then you have to have a rethink of, if he is doing that, you're only going to get 60, 65 minutes out of him. You don't want to get him to go too far. All these things, that's why Jace is saying it's a difficult one to call of where Jeremy is going to start. But I can see pluses from both sides. But from him right back, that is a long stint for 90 minutes.
It's been a problem all season, though, hasn't it? In all honesty, I mean, you shouldn't really be playing 3 or 4 players in one position in one season, should you? It's
it's been injuries
it's
as well.
been
I
injuries.
know you throw that in the
Yes,
mix. I know you throw that in the mix, but you know, Frimpong for me is just not a fullback. He's an out-and-out attacking player, wing back at worst. You know, that's where he would be suited ideally. But for me, he's not a right back. So we don't have cover for Conor Bradley. I just think it's an area that maybe should have been looked at. You know, when Trent went, can we keep Conor fit? Can he play regular in that position? No, he can't.
Joe Gomez is amongst the subs today, it is worth pointing out, so he is an option that could play there.
Yeah.
In terms of positives for today, Hugo Ekitike is in from the off. Only in the Premier League, at least, Erling Haaland has scored more non-penalty goals than Ekitike across all competitions. He's been a real bright spark and adds that cutting edge, doesn't he, at the top end of the field for us, Thomas?
The thing about the boy, he's only slight, but he puts himself about. He's wanting to get in there. He more than probably Isak. Isak likes to play up on the back line, but Hugo gives people problems. He drops off. He's a very clever player. He glides past people. He's tough being in there. And as you see with his little flick for Flo, they're getting an understanding, these two, and that's why it's vital at this moment. They have continued this run, because they're picking each other out. They become a vital component of the side. And I just think he's been that one bright light. And it was a shame that we didn't have him at Arsenal. Or was it? Because if he'd have played against Arsenal, he'd played up. And with Flo dropping off, it caused Arsenal major problems. Who do we mark? Who do we pick up?
They're starting to get an understanding.
Yeah.
Is that something to really hang our hat on, the fact that relationships are starting to... We saw when this team was at its best and we had that front three who worked so well, the midfield worked so well together, starting to get new partnerships, new groups developing. Is that something we can look with real optimism at for the future?
Absolutely. I mean, it's one thing we spoke about at length various times. You know, you have to create these partnerships, these understandings, whether you're a right back in your centre half, whether you're a right back in your winger, whether it's your centre forward in your 10. You've got to be on the same wavelength. I mean, I don't think there's been a better 3 at Liverpool. Well, you could argue Barnes, Beardsley, Aldridge were a pretty good 3, weren't they? Or then
Don't argue your own points.
No, well, I just meant there's better 3, but then there probably is, actually. We've had so many. We've been spoiled here, haven't we? But you talk about the Mane, Salah, Firmino. I mean, they were just telepathic in the end, weren't they? They were just, absolutely fantastic. They were switching positions, and one would stay out wide, one would stay on the left, one would go down. It was just brilliant, but productive. They scored a lot of goals, created a lot of opportunities. These things will come with these players. Listen, I like Ekitike. He's still raw for me. There's still work to be done with him. But I love his physicality. What Tomo said there, he's very versatile and he can come to the ball. He'll hang off shoulders. He's got pace to burn. He does drift left, which is kind of where Werther's area is, where he does most of his productive work. So they are striking up this relationship. But they're vitally important when teams play a low block, that they do forge this relationship and they can create something. But they've got to be clinical, because you know, these teams that are coming now with low blocks, they don't give much up, do they?
No.
You know, you get 3 or 4 opportunities, you've got to take one of them.
You certainly do. OK, well, Monday night, it saw the Reds kick off the FA Cup campaign for this year. League One Barnsley, the opposition. And it was all looking good for the Reds until a moment Dominic Szoboszlai would like to forget that made it all a little tricky.
But Liverpool take on League One Barnsley and get their FA Cup campaign underway this evening at Anfield. This Szoboszlai with the effort. Oh, goodness me! That's just too good. Sensational strike from Dominic Szoboszlai. This Frimpong, that's lovely. Frimpong, oh yes! Oh yes indeed! That's a moment of individual brilliance. Brilliant from Szoboszlai. Just great awareness. Oh, but then he's given the ball away and he's gifted Barnsley a goal. Jones, little touch is for Florian Wirtz. It's another magnificent Liverpool goal. That's the ball for Wirtz, who's onside, and that's for Ekitike. And a tap-in makes it 4 for Liverpool. Liverpool have done the job. They're into the next round of the FA Cup. Yeah,
job done in the end. We won't spend too long talking about Dominic's error. But I guess all you have to do in that situation, Jason, is take the flak, learn from it, don't do it again, and be thankful it didn't cost your team.
Yeah, it weren't a great moment for him, and it weren't a great moment in the game either. I think, what were we, 2-0 up at the time?
Absolutely.
You know, he then gives them optimism. Their crowd get up just before half-time, changes the team talk. Then got to speak to him, got to remind him. I did think, although he scored his goal, the first one, I did think he was quite complacent during the game. And that's one thing that, I've got to be honest, it annoys me when in FA Cups. That's why you see the likes of Crystal Palace, why we've seen giant killings, you know, in the FA Cup. It's because of complacency. No Premier League team should be beaten by lesser opposition from another division. They just shouldn't. You know, the Palace game probably done everyone a favour, certainly in the team selection. I think Arne Slot would have looked at that and thought, I don't want to be on the back end right now of a result like that. I can't be getting beat.
I think that's the biggest thing. It put a little bit of pressure back onto us. You go in just before half-time, sort of losing that one goal. Then it all of a sudden
Changes the whole
dynamics, changes the whole dynamics of it. Their crowd, their players, going in at half-time, their manager's team talk, whether it's Arne Slot's team talk. It just changes the whole atmosphere in the whole place. Here, everybody's just talking about that at half-time.
Yeah.
And you don't want that. The game should have been nice and comfortable. It was difficult as it is because we've played against a lot of teams who defend deep. That their defensive line was like 10 yards outside. Sitting up in the stands watching it, I couldn't believe how close they were. All 10 outfield players from the edge of the box, 10 yards. And I was going, wow. So these long-range shots, which if Dom had had his shooting boots on against Arsenal, we might have done better at Arsenal. And that was Dominic at his best. And I think why we give him some slack is because he has been our best player. But is that the reason why he done it?
Quality moments from him aside, though, you mentioned the goal he scored, he had the chance at Arsenal. What I liked about the team performance is when the subs came on as well, second half especially, there was that little bit of quality, that little bit of finesse at the top end. We saw the little link-up we referred to earlier between Wirtz and Ekitike. You know, it hinted at what this team can be good at and what it needs to be good at more consistently. The quality of finish I'm talking about.
Yeah, and I don't want to be disrespectful to Barnsley, but it's a good game for Liverpool when you're trying to work on something, isn't it? Yep. You know, once you go 2 up, you know, in the game, the physicality of the game starts to come into play, which means Liverpool are the fitter team, they are the fitter players, there's more space you can start exploiting. You can start then on the edge of the box, little 1-2s, creating relationships, dropping in behind. They've come out a little bit because they're looking to get on the score sheet, trying to get, you know, the game closer. And then you can start doing things, and that's what Liverpool did. They didn't come on and just keep the ball for the sake of keeping it. They come on with it with an agency, didn't they? I think Ekitike gets his assist, gets his goal. Wirtz and him they looked the part, didn't they? But they were given the space because of the timing of the game. But they still had to do it, and it was good to see that they actually did do it.
You sort of referred to the fact that maybe the Crystal Palace result kind of put an urgency and a pressure on the team selection on Liverpool. But is there an argument to say Arne would have gone with that team anyway because the FA Cup, the way he spoke pre-match, it feels like it's further up the priority list just now, given where we are in the league?
Yeah, it's a little bit sort of nervous, isn't it? We've seen a gap between Aston Villa and ourselves being created in there. So, you know, and the teams are stacking up behind us. Yeah. So you're quite right. So that top 4, top 5 for the Champions League is a little bit. So the other trophies, this football club is about winning trophies. So you can't give up, as we did, I believe, for the League Cup game, Carabao Cup game against Crystal Palace. This took on more importance, and it was nice to see such a strong start. But it also happened, I think, when they took Joe Gomez off and brought Canate on, I thought they were going to take Virgil off and sort of rest his legs. But it become more important than that because it was only 2-1. They needed Virgil on with Canate to make sure that we kept this result. That was another flip side to Dominic's.
The FA Cup perhaps a greater priority this season. What won't be easy, though, is the next opponent. It's a game here, yes, but it's a game against Brighton, who've shown in recent seasons just how tricky they can be for Liverpool.
Premier League opposition, and you know, a team where you look at their aspirations, possibly sneaking into a European position, maybe got the squad to do it, but they need results to go their way and consistency. Winning the Premier League? No. Winning the Champions League? Obviously not. So what is their aim? You know, it's a Wembley out, isn't it?
And they've seen what their rivals Palace did last season.
Exactly, you know, and that gives everyone room for optimism as well. So, you know, they'll come with wanting to win the game. You know, they certainly won't be resting players, and with their result in the last round, you know, why not?
And I think you will see the teams now. You looked, not just us playing a strong side. Manchester City can play two equal sides if you want. They've got that many. Arsenal can. And everybody looks like they're all trying to a little bit more importance on the FA Cup. Maybe not the League Cup, but the FA Cup takes on greater importance. We can stand here because this is part of our childhood, if you want, the FA Cup, the way it was. But when your management and when you're foreign managers, you knew of the FA Cup, but is that really your priority? It's about players.
You were so close, Jason. So close.
So close. Got a nice suit though.
Okay, let's head up into the main stand now. Standing by in his commentary position is Steve Hunter. He'll be on the mic today for us. We can join Steve now. Afternoon, Steve.
Afternoon, Mark, my friend. What a guy Mark Ben's today, folks. Gets soaked and still continues. The ultimate pro, that man. Great to be back at Anfield, isn't it? I always say this, I know, but for the traditionalists amongst you, of which I am a member, 3 p.m. kickoff on a Saturday is good, isn't it? And it's a big incentive for us, these games. You know, after a few draws, we need to get back winning, don't we? I mean, at this moment in time, United have beaten City 1-0, and that would mean, before we kick off, that United would go above us in fourth. We'd go down to fifth because they've got to have one better goal difference. So we need to start scoring some goals, don't we? 5 might be enough at the end of the season, but we need to go for fourth and higher, don't we? No doubt about that. Okay, let's head back then to earlier on in the season when a tough Burnley side, we expect no difference today, made it tough for Liverpool, but we kept going, and eventually, you know who did the business, the Egyptian king. Big man, big moment. We left it late. Who cares? Let's relive that action.
A cold, wet day in East Lancashire greets Liverpool on their return to Premier League action. Liverpool get back at it in the Premier League and looking to maintain their perfect start to the season. Towards Konate, who was right in there with Dubravka. Looked a bit of a lunge from Ugochukwu. It's going to be yellow. Soboslai jumping, and the volley was by Ryan Gravenberch. Lovely little turn, twisting and turning. Soboslai. Oh, it's a really good save by Dubravka. Bits, lovely turn. And he's going to get a second yellow card followed by a red. And Gumoa, Frimpong, saved by Dubravka. Frimpong. Oh, they're appealing for handball. It's a penalty to Liverpool. The ball is handed to Mohamed Salah. He's done it so many times before, and he's done it once again at Turf Moor.
You can always rely on the Egyptian king, can't you? Disappointment for him, frustration at AFCON, of course, but we'll get him back, and we need him back, let's be honest. Right then, away from that, and today's match programme, you can see here the picture, special illustration of Virgil van Dijk on the front of it, and it's basically an award-winning design by 13-year-old Lily, who's a massive Liverpool fan and an all-red member. Lily's design focuses on Virgil van Dijk, her and her mum's favourite Liverpool player, and it was a competition basically that gave all junior members for All Red programme under 16s a chance to design a front cover. There was over 120 entries. Lily's came out the best, and she's enjoying today 2 hospitality tickets. Lily, we hope you have an amazing day with your family, your favourite player. I'll be smiling at you as well, Big Virgil. So that's the story behind today's match programme today. Lovely story. Mark, it's back to you.
Thank you, Steve. Well, it's time for viewers on social media to leave us, but our Matchday Live build-up will continue right up until kick-off. If you're watching this, though, and wish to stay with us, you can find our details on how to subscribe online. That's at liverpoolfc.com/watch. Coming up in the rest of our pre-match show, well, we'll hear from Arne Slot, Milos Kerkez, and we'll get a sprinkling of Hollywood stardust as well. All will be revealed very shortly. Stop tapping me arm, Jason. You're not the Hollywood stardust. We've had a sprinkling as well. I did think about making that joke, but I'm not going to do it anyway. Like I say, this show's a riot. Just before kick-off, the teams are out. Steve and John Aldridge will guide you through all the action with our live audio commentary service. Then, after full-time, we'll be back down pitch side to look over the game. That post-match show will also be available to listen to in the reaction on the club's official podcast platform, and you can watch a rerun of the game in full from today, the match against Burnley. That's from 6 o'clock on Sunday. And 24 hours later, Neil Mellor will be on hand on Monday with in-depth analysis of today's events. That is on the Premier League Review Show. You can catch it all from 6 on Monday. Okay, we're building up to Liverpool taking on Burnley. It's a 3 p.m. kickoff here at Anfield. Let's hear from Arne Slot, who's hoping the work they've been doing up at the AXA this week comes to fruition at Anfield this afternoon.